One of the other things, if you hang out at Aspen for a bit, you meet a lot of technologists, and there's this picture of you floating around with Eric Schmidt looking one of the Google driverless cars. Here in Aspen, we have Toyota with this iRoad thing. You should go try it. I'm 6'5", and I fit in it, and went around. It's one of these little, one-person sort of interurban city vehicles. I recommend everybody go sign up and do this thing. They've got a shuttle. It's totally cool. You can't wreck it. I tried. I mean, you can run into things, but I really tried to flip it, and you can't. And it goes for about 30 miles. You plug it in, it's all electric, and it's a fascinating thing. And so you get a sense. Last night I was having a discussion with some folks in the airline industry about the future of airplanes, and saying the safety problems of airplanes are human beings, and that we have the capacity down the road, maybe not, maybe in our children's lifetimes, where you're going to have a super strategic leap in safety, but you're not going to have people in the cockpit. Like, it'll be all machine. I mean, it's a fascinating thing to think about at Aspen, right? So you've got phenomenal innovation going on. You have crappy conditions which the government is providing in terms of stewardship of the system. What happens in that innovation sector as we get driverless cars and iRoad things, and people coming up with new ways? And doesn't the word Secretary of Department of Transportation, doesn't it sound really old? How about Department of Mobility? Like, why don't we change the name? If you can't get that, they'll change the name of what you're doing. Wouldn't that be? I mean, there's this hip stuff going on, and government isn't part of any of it.
Yeah, no, it's. Look, I think the rate of change, like transportation as a sector, has probably lagged behind a lot of other sectors in integrating technology. And now you're seeing a very rapid pivot towards all of these things. And frankly, our regulatory structure moves slower than the rate of change in technology. And we're finding ourselves a lot of times trying to catch up to what the outside industry is trying to push. I think, to your question about what this means, the underinvestment on one side and the technology environment on the other side, technology could help us with some of the capacity problems in our system. The fact that we can't add lane miles or in some place, I'm not saying everywhere, but in Los Angeles, you can't add lane miles. So in places like that, maybe a connected vehicle that can run vehicles closer together creates more capacity so you can move more vehicles through. Design plays a role here too, and we're learning more based on data and analytics how to design road systems. When I was mayor of Charlotte, we had a road that was congested just about all day. It was a 4-lane road, 2 in each direction. And my engineer came to me and said, we want to reduce the number of lanes to 3. And I said, how is that going to help the congestion? And he said, well, based on data and this, he showed me all these charts. We ended up trying it out. The middle lane was a turn lane. The other 2 lanes were through lanes. And we actually got more cars through. So data and analytics can tell us a little more about even how to design our road systems so that we get more capacity out of it. And I think these things they're gonna play a role, but I really want our department to not be a lagging part of this conversation. I want us to be at the front.
So let's rename it the Department of Mobility.
Hey man, you got it. Go ahead, man. Put a call in to my boss.
Yeah. That's a tweetable moment.